Everyone is addicted to their habits. Have you ever thought about that? Most people associate addiction only with bad habits, but in reality, our brains can become attached to any habit. In this video, we'll talk about why developing healthy habits is so important. I'll be sharing eye-opening insights, especially for younger viewers. By understanding how our brain's reward system works, we'll uncover why we gravitate toward bad habits and how we can replace them with healthier ones. Take food, for example. The more you eat, the more your brain craves, which is one of the biggest reasons obesity has become so common today. On the other hand, someone who exercises regularly may feel down when they stop working out because their brain has become dependent on that boost of happiness hormones. And what about bad habits? Substance use, excessive sugar consumption, constant phone scrolling. All of these can wire our brains for addiction, just like food or exercise. But understanding the difference between good and bad habits can help us take control and steer our lives in a better direction. After watching this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below so we can discuss this together. Who knows? Maybe, thanks to us, one young person will avoid falling into bad habits altogether. Let's dive in and discover how our brains become attached to habits. 1. Identify your bad habit. Habits usually start with a trigger. For example, you might crave a cigarette when you're stressed or instinctively reach for your phone when you're bored. Recognizing these triggers and replacing them with healthier alternatives is the first step. Instead of smoking when you're stressed, try taking a short walk. Do you remember the first time you smoked a cigarette? You probably thought, why do people even get addicted to this? But over time, smoking became a part of your daily routine. After meals, first thing in the morning, right after stepping outside. Some people even smoke in the bathroom. As you can see, addiction is simply the result of repeated habits. Our brains trick us into seeking instant pleasure, and before we even realize it, the behavior becomes automatic. That's because the human brain is wired to seek happiness. This is exactly why the phrase, "trying it once won't hurt," is so dangerous. The moment you try smoking, or any addictive substance, your brain starts to normalize it. Then, without even realizing it, your brain craves that rush of happiness again, and a habit begins to form. Next thing you know, you're smoking multiple cigarettes a day. That's why we always tell people who haven't started smoking, don't even try it once. Addiction starts the moment you form a habit. If you never start, you'll never have to fight it. 2. Change your dopamine sources. Phone notifications, junk food, and social media provide instant gratification, but in the long run, they leave you feeling unsatisfied. Instead, switch to more sustainable sources of dopamine. Reading books, listening to music, exercising, or engaging in creative activities help your brain produce dopamine in a healthy way. Now, grab a pen and paper, or open your Notes app. Write down alternative actions for when you feel the urge for instant dopamine. For example, instead of scrolling through social media, I'll read 10 pages of a book. Instead of eating junk food, I'll drink a glass of water and take a 5-minute walk. Instead of smoking when I'm stressed, I'll practice deep breathing. Instead of wasting time on my phone, I'll pick up a new hobby. Remember, bad habits form because our brains seek easy sources of dopamine. But when you train your brain to rely on the right dopamine sources, you'll start living a happier and healthier life. Build your own reward system and take control of your life. 3. Start small. If you want to change a habit, set small and sustainable goals. Instead of saying, "I will never eat sugar again," start by reducing your intake by just 1 teaspoon a day. As your brain adapts to these small changes, adopting new behaviors becomes easier. How many times a day do you snack? This habit could lead to significant weight gain over time. To become more aware, try tracking all the snacks you eat outside of your main meals for a week. Then, replace those snacks with a glass of water or simple at-home exercises. In just 2 months, you'll start noticing real changes in your health. You'll see your body transform and feel more energized. Small but consistent steps can lead to big results. 4. Sexuality and the brain's reward system. Sex is a natural part of the brain's reward system. However, when it becomes easily accessible and overused, it can disrupt dopamine regulation, just like other forms of addiction. Especially in the US and Europe, the way social media and digital platforms overemphasize sexuality makes it harder for people to set healthy boundaries. And what happens as a result? Increased attachment issues. Instead of building meaningful relationships, people chase short-term pleasure, weakening family structures. Declining birth rates. In developed countries, fewer people are choosing to have children, possibly because they prioritize instant gratification over long-term responsibility. Higher rates of STDs, easy access, and reckless behavior contribute to the spread of HIV, HPV, and other infections. So, how can we restore balance to our brains? The healthiest and most sustainable way is to build strong emotional bonds within a family structure and experience sexuality in a meaningful context. Maintaining a healthy relationship is one of the best ways to support both emotional and physical well-being. At the end of the day, we have the power to train our brains to crave healthy habits. Exercise, balanced nutrition, productivity, and strong social connections create a more fulfilling and stable life in the long run. 5. Be patient and trust the process. Building a new habit or breaking a bad one doesn't happen overnight. Research shows it takes anywhere from 21 to 66 days for a habit to form. That means you need to be patient and see the process as a journey of self-improvement, not a race. As you take small daily steps, your brain forms new neural connections, even if you don't notice it right away. For example, if you stop eating sugar one day a week, it might feel hard at first, but by day 21, you'll likely feel more energized, and the habit won't seem so foreign anymore. And when you think about the long-term rewards, you'll realize that all the effort was worth it. Every single day brings you one step closer to your goal. Growth takes time, but both the journey and the results will be incredibly rewarding. That's the end of our video. If you have anything to add, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Even changing just one person's perspective can make a world of difference. Thank you for watching, and stay healthy.